Welcome! Today we're breaking down an analysis from Meherban Ali that looks at the week of January 30th to February 5th, 2026. And this isn't just any week, it's seen as a time of really deep spiritual importance. So, let's explore the guidance for what's being called a divinely inspired week.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The source material doesn't just frame this as another 7 days. No, it's called an ilhami hafta, which means a divinely inspired week. And why is that? Well, the main reason is because it holds the holy night of Shab-e-Barat, a time believed to be incredibly powerful for having your prayers accepted. So what is it that makes this week, and especially Shab-e-Barat, so powerful? Let's unpack the spiritual meaning here, because it really sets the stage for all the special preparations that are recommended. Shab-e-Barat is described as a night with just immense spiritual weight. It's a time for forgiveness, for deep prayer, and for divine blessings. It's believed that angels actually descend to earth, which makes it this crucial moment for getting your prayers answered and really feeling that divine mercy. So with that in mind, the source gives some really specific, practical advice on how you can get your home and your soul ready for this incredibly important night. This slide lays it out perfectly. It really boils down to 4 key rituals. First, you're going to want to cleanse your home. Second, light 4 lamps. Third, recite some specific prayers. And fourth, and this might be the most important one, forgive others. Each one of these steps is meant to create an atmosphere that just invites positive energy and blessings right in. And get this, the source really emphasizes that first step has some real tangible results. As you can see here, the state of your home on this night can apparently set the vibe for the entire year ahead. A clean kitchen, that's linked to financial abundance, but an unclean one, that could point to hardship. And it's the same with the washroom. A clean one is said to bring harmony, while an unclean one could lead to conflict and strife. Now, that second ritual builds on this whole idea of creating a sacred space. This is all about lighting 4 lamps right at your doorstep. Each one is for one of the 4 principal archangels: Jibrail, Mikhail, Israfil, and Israel. And the reason for this is pretty powerful. It's for protection from the evil eye and to help resolve conflicts within the home. Okay, so we've covered how to prepare for that specific night. Now let's zoom out and look at the whole week. The source gives a kind of guide to your daily behavior, and it's all designed to help you stay in a positive spiritual state from beginning to end. So, here are the recommended do's. The advice is all about aligning yourself with positive energy. So we're talking about things like wearing light colors like white and green, carrying or wearing silver, and just making a conscious effort to keep a smile on your face and a positive outlook. The source also points out being kind, especially to women and children, and even suggests simple things like walking barefoot on the earth for a bit and eating more green fruits. And finally, giving charity, specifically with white, red, and green items, is highly encouraged. And on the flip side, here's what to avoid. The big takeaway here is to maintain your inner peace. So the guidance is to stay away from anger, rushing, and using harsh words. This even goes for your diet, avoiding spicy foods and what you wear, suggesting you skip dark-colored shoes. Laziness, being cruel or scolding family members, and making decisions based purely on emotion are also on the list of things to steer clear of. All right, let's switch gears and talk about the astrological outlook that's in the source. Now, to keep things really clear and concise, we're going to focus on the major themes that kept popping up over and over again for the different zodiac signs. The most common theme around money is overwhelmingly positive. I mean, for a huge majority of the signs, we're talking Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius. This is being flagged as a really strong week for investments. The only warning that comes with it is just to avoid making those decisions in a rush. Another theme that comes up again and again is a call to be careful with how you communicate. For signs like Aries, Leo, Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius, the source really advises being mindful of your words. The idea here is to stop yourself from creating enemies or just unnecessary drama by using harsh or thoughtless speech. And that leads us to a really central piece of advice for several signs this week. Lead with your mind, not just your heart. Using logic and reason instead of pure emotion when you're making decisions is presented as the absolute key to making sure things turn out successfully. So in our final section, we're going to take a look at some special items that were mentioned in the source material. We're just going to present this information neutrally, simply explaining what their stated purpose is for boosting your spiritual connection and protection during this time.
This slide lays out 3 specific items that were mentioned for harnessing this week's energy. First up is the Loh-e-Shab-e-Barat, which is described as a protective talisman against negativity, the evil eye, and magic. Second is Pukraj, or yellow sapphire, which is actually named the stone for the year 2026 and is said to attract respect, fame, and wealth. And finally, there's Marjan, or red coral, which is mentioned as something that can help with getting prayers accepted and can also attract wealth. You know, as we start to wrap up, this quote from Meherban Ali really just captures the core message of this whole analysis. The takeaway is so clear. Beyond all the rituals, beyond all the preparations, the simple act of forgiveness is presented as the ultimate key to having your prayers answered. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. The source material really presents this week as a unique opportunity for spiritual connection and maybe even a reset. So it kind of leaves us with one last thought to reflect on. What one intention will you set for this powerful week? Thanks for joining me.